Hey there, you're watching Go Island, where we're talking about a campfire ban.
Aaron Vissia Financial Go Island is brought to you by Aaron Vissia Financial.
Well, hello there, you are watching Go Island, and we are talking about the fire ban, the campfire ban that is in place not only for all of Vancouver Island, but for the city of Port Alberni as well. And so here to tell us a little bit more about it is Fire Chief Tim Ply. Tim, how you doing?
I'm good, Nancy. How are you?
I'm doing very well.
Good.
Now, a lot of people get confused because they understand that there has been a campfire ban in place for all of Vancouver Island, but I ran across somebody on the weekend who was going to have a campfire because they thought it didn't extend to the city of Port Alberni, but it does, doesn't it?
It does and it doesn't. So currently there is a ban across the entire island and in Port Alberni. The Wildfire Management Branch, branch of the provincial government, governs outdoor burning everywhere except in municipalities. So in this municipality we have a bylaw that says, in Port Alberni we have a bylaw that says that the city dictates when you can and can't burn. Our practice is to follow Wildfire Management Branch. So although we have the right to govern fires ourselves, we generally follow what they do because they're the experts in terms of fuel, that sort of thing.
And in rare occasions you might decide not to. What made you decide to follow them this year specifically?
In general, we follow them for a couple of reasons. One, they know the business better than we do, wildfire, and two, it's confusing for people to know when a ban's on, when it's off, where it is, where it isn't. So we generally follow as a rule, and we post that on our website, that sort of thing, as much as we can to get the message out. If people are, if we find people who are having a campfire and they've done it accidentally, we're very understanding of that. We'll help them put it out, and there'll be no charges or anything like that.
And what about those gas-powered fireplaces? Are they allowed?
It's a fine line. If you have a gas-fired fireplace, generally those are allowed. The trick is to see if there's a label on there, a CSA or a ULC label that says the device is rated for the use. So you're not allowed to have an incinerator, for example, but you can use like a gas barbecue or a gas fire that's built for that purpose. Yes.
I think in general that you're better off just sitting around your picnic table instead of around a campfire this time of year.
Well, we all enjoy a fire, but and this is one of the best summers that I can recall. What comes with it is the risk of fire spread, and as much as I enjoy campfire, there's no way I'd light one right now. You just can't control it, and yeah, the only thing worse than not having a campfire is having a fire you can't control.
Absolutely. Well, there you have it. If the fire chief wouldn't light a campfire, you shouldn't either. Now, we're going to be talking a little bit more with Fire Chief Tim Ply, but first, we're going to head out with Jose Arujo and Jenny Fortin, who once again set off on a fishing challenge. Welcome back. You are still watching Go Island. We are still here at the Port Alberni Fire Department talking about the complete campfire ban in the city, all over Vancouver Island, with Fire Chief Tim Ply. And Tim, if somebody does see fire or see a campfire, what should they do?
I guess it depends on the situation. So if you look over your fence and you see your neighbor's got a fire going, if you have a relationship with a neighbor, maybe advise your neighbor there's a campfire ban on and they shouldn't have that fire, if you're able to do that. If you're not able to do that, if you don't have that kind of relationship, you can call the fire department, 250-724-1351, and advise us that somebody has a campfire and you're not able to talk to them about it. And we'll come by without lights and sirens and make sure that person puts the fire out, or we'll put the fire out for them. So that's if you're aware of a campfire. If at any time, if you smell smoke, or if you think there's an uncontrolled fire, whether that's in the bush or somebody's shed or a building, and you think that it's a fire that's just gotten away, dial 911. That's the quickest, easiest way. A dispatcher will walk you through the process, and a fire truck will arrive with lights and sirens.
And I've got to figure it's pretty embarrassing if a fire truck shows up at your house with lights and sirens because you're roasting marshmallows in the backyard.
Yeah, nobody generally wants to see that, a fire truck in their front yard and a bunch of firefighters in their backyard. And from time to time, when people have fires that get out of control, they'll call us and say, please don't come with lights and sirens, but I need your help. So that's generally a deterrent. But I would like to caution people, don't call in a 911 fire if you know that it's not a dangerous fire. That's because you're putting, you're allocating a resource there that could be used elsewhere, meaning our fire truck, and you might be bringing an element of risk to our personnel and the general public by doing that. So please don't call 911 if you know that it's not a fire out of control. Just call the number I gave you earlier.
So That's an important thing to know. If your neighbor is having a campfire, if you don't want to talk to your neighbor, call the fire department, the non-emergency number. If you smell smoke and think or see a fire and you know that it is a campfire or any kind of fire out of control, call 911 immediately. Now we're going to talk a little bit about just how dry it is in the Alberni Valley in just a few minutes. But first, we're going to head out onto the water with Josiah Rujo. Well, hello again. You are still watching Go Island. We are still here at the Port Alberni Fire Department talking about the extremely dry conditions and the fire ban that is in place in the city of Port Alberni and all across Vancouver Island. And Tim, is this a particularly dry year? Is this drier than usual?
This is a drier than usual year. And on top of that, it's drier earlier this year than it usually is. We're several weeks in advance in terms of the fire season, and the projection is for a continuation of hot and dry weather. So we think this is going to be a very exceptional year in terms of wildfire, not only in the Alberni Valley, but province-wide. So that also, that means that resources that are usually standing by in Alberni Valley to fight fire, respond to fires, may be pulled away to other parts of the province. So it's a bad year. There's going to be a continued heightened risk for wildfires, and fewer resources likely to combat those fires.
And we've been talking specifically about campfires, but smokers start a lot of fires too, don't they?
Yes, when the fuel gets dry like this, discarded cigarette butts and bark mulch and cedar hedges are bad too. It doesn't take much for a cigarette butt to get a fire started, so please, 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 everybody be careful with whether it's a discarded cigarette or anything hot, barbecue coals, that kind of thing.
What about glass bottles? I remember I grew up in the prairies and I know discarded clear glass bottles can start a fire in dry grass.
They can. It's a rarity, but it can happen, yes. Yeah. So we're just asking for people to be vigilant in what they do and how they do it. And if they smell smoke or think they've detected a fire, let us know and we'll come and investigate that.
Well, thank you so much, Tim, for telling us about it. Hopefully you don't have a busier than usual summer and that dry conditions are not, that no fires are started. So thank you.
Nancy.
That does bring us almost to the end of Go Island, but before we leave, we're going to head off to another couple stories. Well, that does bring us to the end of another Go Island, and hopefully you won't be seeing one of these in your front driveway. Until we meet again, stay cool, stay safe, and be good to each other.
Aaron Vissia Financial Go Island is brought to you by Aaron Vissia Financial, supporting community and providing personalized advice and service to clients since 1996. Our team is ready to help you with your financial future.